motion to advertise for members to be involved in the comprehensive plan. So we'd like to collect some resumes. Good points were brought up by Mrs. Raymer, Donna, different ones that we need a team together, possibly 15, 20 that may help shape Cecil Township for the next 10, 20, 50 years. Also, Dawn, if you would investigate or put out for possibly resumes for the zoning board and resumes for the planning commission board.
Why? We don't have any open seats.
Well, we would like to gather names and have people and have records, but please do that.
Why? We don't, I mean...
Okay, so I will do it in a motion form that would ask the Dawn to advertise for members for a comprehensive plan, for resumes for zoning board, and then resumes for planning commission board.
Wait,
Do we have a second?
I second it.
Can I
We have
ask a question?
discussion? Yes, ma'am. Now you may.
So we're gonna let people know for when the terms are up next year?
For just to have, so that we're not scrambling when we're looking, and we do have to build that membership comprehensive plan. We'd like to get as many as possible.
I'm not opposed to that. I'm just wondering why we're accepting positions for planning and zoning and just filling the open seats. Do we even know how many seats are up next? I feel like there's a motive.
Okay.
There's always seats up every.
So it's just to have for, in case somebody's interested in the future?
Right.
That's right. So we have any other discussion?
Yeah, can we do those separately?
No, the motion was already made that
That's
way.
made and seconded. Do we, any other discussion before? No?
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No.
The motion carries, Carol, one nay vote.
The other thought was, we'll continue on with, for Dawn, please to investigate the old electronics collections and tires. That may even encompass, if you would please, any other disposable paints and, pardon me?
Yeah,
Television.
TVs, yes, that would be the electronics.
and chemicals and
Chemicals, but yeah, just whatever to make a local drop-off point so we don't see the numerous complaints on the Loma Farm or just out of the country.
Can I say something real quick? The state of Pennsylvania actually has a program like that. It's called Chem Sweep for chemicals. Just for, if
They
you
would
want to
come
look
out
into
here?
it, they rotate the counties every year.
Will they come to Cecil Township?
No, it's more of a county.
You know, they come
Not as
here,
a
but they have
township.
the Washington Mall parking lot.
Okay. But the thought may be, or part of the investigation is to, just bring it here and then we can always have someone from here take it to the local, just cater to our residents.
The question though I had was, you said drop off.
Yes,
There's a lot of people that can't bring their things here to drop off. You know, they're elderly or they don't have a vehicle that will fit. I have a TV in my car to take tomorrow
Yeah.
to the fairgrounds. I mean, if my brother had that, he couldn't take it because it wouldn't fit in his car.
very well.
So, I mean, I'm not sure the drop-off is, I mean, that's a good thing, but there should be something where there's a number of people can call if they can't
All right.
physically take it.
Dawn, if you would put that in part of your consideration or resolution for those types of situations.
Yeah.
And we can address it or look at it next month. Third thing was, I don't know, would make a motion that we would implement the 5 business days for engineering drawings or applications or punch list items. And that would mean for the planning commission, the zoning board, and for our supervisors meeting. But the idea is that we would not have to be doing fire drills. So if we would have all the submissions of the drawings for the engineering and for Bruce, at least 5 business days beforehand.
I'll make that, I'm sorry, I'll make that motion unless it already exists.
You know, I understand that there was one, Tommy shared a little bit earlier, that was 30 days.
Just so I'm clear, so it would be, the companies would have to provide it to Bruce 5 days prior to the meeting?
That's correct.
Okay. I just wanted to-
Just so,
That's really not enough time. I think the departures that we've had after the 30 days was whenever our staff or Dan said, yeah, he could, he came in 2 weeks before the planning commission, but I can get to, he makes every effort to get to it, but to say 5 days, that's really pushing our staff and our professionals, that's going the wrong direction.
Well, Bruce, what do you think is reasonable?
Well, I would prefer to Dan and Bruce on that because they have to review it. I don't want to tell them what's reasonable or not. They have to deal with these things, so.
I said that Bruce, Dan, whatever, what do you think is reasonable?
Well, I mean, I think Bruce and I have gotten the message that, at least I'm hearing from, at least from the board's in agreement, that you don't want plans coming to you with any contingencies.
Correct.
Other than normal administrative items.
But tying into that is some drawings came in for Bruce today, and he has to scramble and review them and see, and that kind of stuff should be done at least 5 days before, or maybe 10 days.
10 days.
Maybe 10, but the idea is, yeah, the emergency work that you have to do to look at drawings at the last minute and then come to the meeting. We had that issue quite a bit for the planning commission. And,
So what, if there were too many items, we would tell the planning commission it's not reasonable to get them done, but like for Fairfield was an example tonight, we told them no later than last Wednesday, to have the plans in to us so that we could get them reviewed in time and get the board a letter at least if they were technically sufficient. So that was that was 5 days or more than 5 days. So I think that that's reasonable, but if they're not making it to the planning commission, we're not going to they'll come back to the planning commission the next month and clean it up. If that's the board's direction, I think you just need to give the planning commission a little more, give direction to Bruce. He runs the planning commission if that's what you want. And I think that's what we heard. We'll continue to tell the planning commission that and make sure that when things come to you guys, that they're all cleaned up with the exception of anything you have to decide upon that as a board. Like you might have to decide on modification.
yeah, but it's everything. It's everything that comes in that we have to do fire drills, and that's not fair to the staff to do a fire drill a day before the meeting.
But wait, like Dan said though, that 5 days when someone gave him that review, it had already been reviewed by him, the planning commission, and it was a cleanup item. So if you're suggesting cleanup items 5 days, that's great, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the intent, that when something comes in and it's reviewed by the planning commission, if there's a whole host of comments from the township engineer and from the township staff, that those items then are addressed and the revisions then are brought back to the township. And there's a window which we need to review them.
Well, Eric, you're talking for the re-review, like the going over the...
Not necessarily just everything, the engineer drawings. Whose drawing did you get today or came in yesterday? Was that for something on the agenda tonight?
It was what came in last Wednesday. It was the Fairfield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Ian previously, but maybe that is a topic that could be discussed, I don't know, at a later point. But the idea is just no more fire drills. Let's give these guys enough time to have the work ready to go. And a 5 or 10 day would be sufficient. I guess it used to be 30 days. And the only repercussion is that it gets pushed into the next month.
Okay.
So you just have a motion from Elizabeth, but it died?
No, I mean, I agree with you, I'm not opposed to it, I just don't know what number we're throwing out.
We said we'll work on it. Maybe at that meeting, we can put it on another one of the minor
Clean
items.
up.
I mean, part of the problem though is we always work on things and we never actually get it done. If we're all in agreement that there needs to be a time limit set, what's the hesitation now?
Can you all hear back there?
Elizabeth has a motion, if you'd like. See if there's a second. She has a
What kind of
motion
motion?
to put a 5-day plan in
He
place.
said 10.
10 days, okay?
Yeah.
10 calendar days,
I think business days would be more appropriate.
10 business days.
Yeah.
That's 2 full weeks.
But wait, is that for the initial submission or the resubmission?
Resubmission.
Oh, that's fine, yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
Can we do both? Can we say 30 days for an initial submission?
It already says
10
30 days.
That's in our ordinance already right now.
10 days for, well, can we re-establish and make sure we're all in that?
reestablished the law.
Well, make sure that we're following what the ordinance says, because I know that you're getting a lot
I
of
think the
pressure.
question was always the resubmission, that they were getting it in short notice. So I like
We'll
that.
put a deadline in every letter that we send out, that if we don't have revisions by a certain date, they won't be considered.
Or just, it'll be considered, but just follow into the next month,
Yeah, sure,
okay?
understood.
So no motion would be necessary? Very well. And the last item, just under new business, would be pay the microphones. Hear every other word that Frank says, or I would ask that Dawn, please just investigate some solutions for next month's meeting, and let's see if we can get a solution once and for all.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, I didn't
That's
hear
going, well, because you stole them.
you. Yeah.
I was going to say, let's stop fooling around. For 3 or 4 years now, we've been talking about microphones that work. People in the audience don't necessarily say anything at the meetings, but then I hear afterwards they couldn't hear, or they watched it on wherever it is on YouTube, and part of it isn't picked up. And while it's a normal thing to turn to someone when we're speaking, but nobody else can hear what we're saying. So I'm going to make a motion now to reactivate the motions that I've made over the past 3 or 4 years, and that is to purchase 11 or 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 lapel microphones. In addition, and we've already budgeted for it, in addition, a walking microphone, or one that can be used in the audience for people that are handicapped or would prefer not to come and stand at the podium, and also the same thing for the podium itself.
A walking or a handheld?
A handheld. I think that if it's handheld, people have a tendency to talk into it, but otherwise they duck their heads like we do, or they just stand up and we don't hear them. So that's my motion.
Okay, Elizabeth, you can't reactivate a motion. You can make a motion to purchase 12, like you said, or whatever it was, but
We want all the electronics to support the 11 microphones.
Pardon me?
We want all of the electronics to support the 11
talking to the
microphones.
microphone, please.
You're stating that you want all of the electronics to support 11 microphones, including the
Well,
additional
Plus
microphone.
one for the walking
Right,
around.
because your system now does not have that capability.
I don't know what it is, whatever it takes.
Elizabeth, may we just assign that task and allow him to come back to us next month and provide a total, please give him 1 more month to investigate whether the lapel is the answer, or maybe it's the speakers, or maybe some other
I
solution.
think we've been through all that.
May you
We
give
did
him 1
get new
more month?
microphones, and these are new. If they're not working, then we gotta go another step. These are better than what we had.
Could it be our sound system? I mean, no offense, I have a cold right now. I don't know if you guys really want to listen to me sniffling every 5 minutes, or blowing my nose, or sucking on a cough drop.
No, Cindy, we just want to hear you. We just want to hear you people. That's all.
I understand. All I'm saying is maybe the answer isn't new microphones, maybe there's a problem with the sound system, maybe there's.
It's been like that for 10 years now, the same way with the video camera.
Well, that's what I'm saying, like,
Mine's, his is, yeah, Frank's is cutting out.
that's what I'm
It's a-
saying,
it's
so
an
maybe,
electronic issue.
the answer is not lapel microphones, but the solution.
Elizabeth, may we
Why
please,
don't we just change the microphone?
may Dawn just investigate different alternatives 1 last month for you, and see total solutions, because if we have to get into electronics and different things, then that would.
We need to know the price then. if-
Correct.
if
So
upgrades.
just bring a total report, if you please, on that.
I think that there are 2 at that end that are sharing a microphone,
There's 2 there that are sharing too.
and over here as well.
Bruce and Chris share a microphone.
If we could jump into, or any other thoughts, I'll just bring a report and hear the summaries then. Old business, there was a hearing held for the proposed cell tower on Coomer Road. Action will be considered